Your company manages an online catalog of office supplies. You plan to use a generative AI solution to create product descriptions for your company's website. The solution must meet the following requirements: ensure that the descriptions can be posted immediately after they are created, enable the selection and inclusion of product details in each description, be fast and simple for non technical staff to use. What is the best type of solution to use? And you have been given four options: customize your machine learning model, the researcher agent in Copilot, an interactive AI agent, and a fine tuned large language model. And the correct answer is an interactive AI agent. Here is why. See, the requirement is very clear. You need something fast, simple, and usable by non technical staff, while also allowing users to include specific product details in the descriptions. An interactive AI agent fits perfectly because it allows users to input details like product names, features, and specifications in a conversational or guided way and instantly generates ready to publish descriptions. No technical setup, no training, just immediate results. Now let's quickly look at the other options. A custom Azure machine learning model would require development effort and expertise, so it's not simple or quick. The researcher agent in Copilot is more focused on gathering and summarizing information, not generating structured product descriptions. And a fine-tuned LLM, while powerful, it involves training and maintenance, which again does not meet the simplicity requirements. So overall, the best fit is an interactive AI agent. Next question. Your company plans to use generative AI to help build a website that will showcase various existing products. Which capability best describes the benefit of using generative AI for this project? Again, you have been given four options. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option A, creating product descriptions based on product specifications. Let's understand why. See, the goal is to build a website that showcases existing products. One of the biggest challenges in such projects is generating consistent, high quality product descriptions. And this is exactly where Gen AI shines. Gen AI can take structured inputs like product specifications and automatically create clear, engaging descriptions. This saves time and ensures consistency across the website. Looking at other options, designing a new product is more about innovation and product development, not showcasing existing items. Translating descriptions is useful, but it's not the core generative benefit here. It's more of a transformation task. And analyzing sales data is purely analytical, not generative. So the best answer aligned with the use case is creating product descriptions using Gen AI. I have seen over here that in some cases, some people argue that C is the correct answer. But see, translation is a useful AI capability, but it is not the primary generative benefit in this scenario. The focus is on creating content, not transforming existing content. So option A is the right answer, where we are creating product descriptions based on product specifications. Next question. Your company wants to ensure that AI solutions are used responsibly and align with company values and compliance requirements. You need to establish governance principles for AI use. Which two actions should you perform? You have five options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are option B, define accountability norms for AI decisions across business and technical teams. And option C, create a process to review AI initiatives for responsible AI alignment. Let's understand why. See, the question is about establishing governance principles for responsible AI use across the organization. Option B, defining accountability norms is critical. AI decisions can impact customers, operations, and compliance. So it is essential to clearly define who is responsible across both business and technical teams. Option C, creating a review process is equally important. Every AI initiative should go through a governance check to ensure it aligns with responsible AI principles like fairness, transparency, and compliance. Looking at other options, see, the first one, allowing each department to define its own governance leads to inconsistency and risk. Option D, assigning governance only to engineering teams ignores the need for legal and business oversight. The last one, focusing only on sensitive data is too narrow governance. It should cover all AI systems. So the correct answers are B and C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes to all. All three statements are true. Let's understand why. Statement one, see, when you use poor quality or incomplete data, the model does not learn correctly. This results in low quality outputs, which means you need to spend more time fixing the data, retraining the model, and validating the results. All of this increases both time and cost. Statement two, AI models depend entirely on training data. They learn patterns and relationships from the data and then use that learning to generate outputs. Without good data, the model cannot perform effectively. Statement three, if the training data is not representative of real world scenarios, the model will produce biased or inaccurate results. This can lead to unfair or unreliable outcomes, which is a major concern in responsible AI. So all three statements are correct. Next question. Your company plans to use Gen AI to help summarize and analyze internal business documents. You need to recommend a solution to prevent Gen AI from accessing confidential or classified information. What should you include in the recommendation? And your options are an information barrier, IB policy, communication monitoring, a data retention policy, or data governance. And the correct answer is option D, data governance. Let's understand why. See, the question is about preventing Gen AI from accessing confidential or classified information. This is not just about restricting users, but about controlling how data is classified, stored, and made available to AI systems. Data governance provides this control. It ensures that documents are properly labeled using sensitivity labels like confidential or highly confidential. It also enforces permissions, so AI systems such as Copilot only retrieve data that a user is already authorized to access. In addition, governance controls what data is even available for indexing. This prevents sensitive or outdated data from being surfaced by AI systems in the first place. Now, looking at other options, the first one, information barriers are designed to restrict communication between groups, not to control AI data access. Communication monitoring is reactive. It detects issue after they happen. And data retention policies focus only on how long data is stored. So the most complete and accurate answer is option D, data governance. Next question. Your company sells hiking and camping gear online. You need a Gen AI solution that can interact with customers and ask questions about their needs. What should you include in the solution? And your options are a chatbot, predictive AI, computer vision, or a recommendation engine. The correct answer is option A, a chatbot. Let's see why. See, the requirement is very clear. The solution must interact with customers and ask questions about their needs. This means we need a conversational interface. A chatbot fits perfectly in this scenario. It can engage users in a dialogue, ask follow up questions like what type of hiking gear they need, their budget, or experience level, and then generate responses or suggestions using Gen AI. This creates a personalized and interactive customer experience. Looking at other options, predictive AI is used for forecasting, not for conversations. Computer vision is used for analyzing images, which is not relevant in this scenario. And the recommendation engine can suggest products, but it does not ask questions or interact conversationally like a chatbot does. So the best choice for an interactive question-based solution is a chatbot. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. When you use Copilot connectors to connect external content to, and there is a blank over here, you have to choose the options from a drop-down box. The options are Azure AI Search, Microsoft Graph, Purview, or SharePoint. Your users can find, summarize, and learn from LOB data by using natural language prompts. And the correct answer is Microsoft Graph. Let's understand why. See, the key to answering this question is understanding how Copilot accesses data. When you connect external content using Copilot connectors, that data becomes available through Microsoft Graph. Graph acts as the central data layer that brings together information from different sources and allows Copilot to search, summarize, and interact with it using natural language. Now let's look at other options. Azure AI Search is used for building custom AI search solutions, but it is not what Copilot connectors use. Purview focuses on governance and compliance, and SharePoint is just a storage platform. So the correct answer in this case is Microsoft Graph. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. An organization that runs continuous large-scale workloads with Azure OpenAI models should choose the dash pricing model. And these options are batch API, provisioned PTUs, standard on demand. And the correct answer is provisioned PTUs. Let's understand why. See, the question is about continuous large-scale workloads using Azure OpenAI models. In such scenarios, you need predictable performance and cost efficiency. PTUs, also called provisioned throughput units, are specifically designed for this. They give you dedicated capacity, which means consistent latency and throughput. This is ideal when your workload is steady and high volume. Looking at other options, batch API is meant for asynchronous processing. It works well for large jobs that do not require immediate responses, but not for continuous workloads. Standard or on-demand pricing is flexible, but it is better suited for variable or low usage. At scale, it can become expensive and less predictable. So for continuous large-scale workloads, the best choice is provisioned PTUs. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, you have three options, three statements. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are no for statement 1 and yes for statements 2 and 3. Let's understand why. See, for statement 1, Copilot in Outlook does not automatically send follow-up replies. It can suggest responses, but the user must review and send them. This ensures control and prevents accidental communication. So this statement is false. Statement 2, Copilot can analyze emails and identify tasks mentioned in them. It helps users by servicing these tasks so they can take action more easily. So this statement is true. Statement 3 is also true. Copilot can summarize long email threads and highlight important details like action items and deadlines. This saves time and improves productivity. So the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Next question. You have a business that uses an AI solution to process loan applications. You discover that the solution rejects the application of all applicants that are older than 60 years of age. Which Microsoft responsible AI principle is this violating? Your options are accountability, transparency, reliability and safety, and fairness. It's an easy one. The correct answer is fairness. Let's understand why. The AI system is rejecting all loan applications from individuals older than 60. This is clear example of bias based on age. The fairness principle in responsible AI ensures that systems do not discriminate against individuals or groups. Decisions should be based on relevant factors like creditworthiness, not arbitrary attributes like age. Now look at other options. Accountability is about who is responsible for AI decisions, not about bias. Transparency is about explaining decisions, but even if this decision is explained, it is still unfair. And reliability and safety focus on consistent performance, not on whether a decision is just or unbiased. So the correct answer is fairness. Match the Microsoft responsible AI principles to the appropriate descriptions. To answer, drag the principle from the column on the left to its description on the right. Each principle may be used once, more than once, or not at all. So you have been given 6 principles on the left hand side of the screen, and those are fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. This is important over here. See, it's just mentioned that each principle may be used once, more than once, or not at all. So we can repeat the principles, or some may not be at all used because there are only 4 options over here, 4 fields to be filled. So let's understand the question and then find the correct mapping. The first statement talks about protecting personal information and applying strong safeguards. This directly maps to privacy and security. This principle ensures that sensitive data is handled responsibly, protected from unauthorized access, and secured using proper controls. In real world scenarios, this includes encryption, access management, and compliance with data protection regulations. All right, next statement. The second statement is about making AI solutions understandable by explaining how and why decisions are made. This is transparency. It focuses on making AI systems explainable so users can trust the output. When users understand how decisions are derived, they are more likely to rely on the system. All right, next statement. The third statement talks about designing AI solutions that are accessible to people of all abilities and experiences. This maps to, you must have guessed it by now, inclusiveness. It ensures that AI solutions are designed for a diverse audience, including people with disabilities or different backgrounds, so that no group is excluded. Next statement. The fourth statement is about involving human oversight in AI systems. This is accountability. It ensures that humans remain responsible for decisions made by AI and that there are governance and monitoring mechanisms in place. So the correct mapping is privacy and security for statement 1, transparency for statement 2, inclusiveness for statement 3, and accountability for statement 4. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given 3 statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are no for statement 1 and yes for statements 2 and 3. Let's understand why. See, statement 1 says RAG architectures require that a large language model be retrained on proprietary data. This is incorrect. RAG does not require retraining the model on proprietary data. Instead, it uses a retrieval mechanism to fetch relevant information at runtime and provide it as the context to the model. Statement 2, RAG grounds a language model to produce more factual and context relevant responses. Well, this is correct. By grounding the model with real data, RAG improves the accuracy and relevance of responses. This reduces hallucinations and makes outputs more reliable. Statement 3, RAG retrieves information from external knowledge sources at runtime instead of relying solely on the knowledge of a Gen AI model. This is also true. RAG retrieves information from external knowledge sources at runtime rather than relying only on the model's built-in knowledge. So the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Next question. Your company is deploying Copilot. The deployment must provide users with access to the researcher agent to search across data in Microsoft SharePoint. You need to recommend a licensing plan for the solution. What should you recommend? Your options are a Copilot per user add-on license, pay-as-you-go, a Microsoft 365 subscription entitlement, a usage-based consumption license in Azure. And the correct answer is option A, a Microsoft 365 Copilot per user add-on license. Let's understand why. See, your company wants to deploy Microsoft 365 Copilot and provide access to the researcher agent, which can search across SharePoint data. See, to use Copilot features, users must have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license assigned to them. This is a per user add-on that works alongside existing M365 subscriptions and enables access to Copilot capabilities across apps and services. So, option A is the right answer. Now, let's look at other options. Pay as you go is used for Azure services, not for M365 Copilot. A standard M365 subscription alone does not include Copilot features, and a usage-based Azure license applies to services like Azure OpenAI, not Copilot. So the correct choice is a Microsoft 365 Copilot per user add-on license. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes a sentence. The researcher agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot, and you have to go through these four statements in the drop down box and tell which one of these completes a sentence. And the correct answer is uses reasoning capabilities to generate deep insights based on organizational data and the web. Let's understand why. See, the researcher agent in Copilot is designed for deep research and insight generation. It does not just retrieve information, but actually analyzes and combines data from multiple sources. This includes both internal organizational data like documents and emails and external sources from the web. The key capability here is reasoning. The agent can take a complex question, break it down into multiple steps, gather relevant information, and then synthesize that information into meaningful insights. This makes it very useful for tasks like market research, strategic planning, and decision support. Now let's look at other options to understand why they are not correct. The first option, the option about creating visual dashboards, is more aligned with tools like Power BI or Excel, not the researcher agent. The second option about generating pivot tables and performing forecasting is specific to Excel Copilot capabilities. And the third option about performing complex data analysis and code execution refers more to advanced analytical agents, not specifically the researcher agent. So when the focus is on deep insights using reasoning across organizational data and the web, the correct answer is the researcher agent. Next question. You plan to meet with a group of stakeholders to discuss how Gen AI can benefit your company. You need to provide the stakeholders with a relevant description of Gen AI during the meeting. Which description should you use? You have been given four options. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option A. Gen AI is designed to generate responses based on a user's natural language prompts. Let's understand why. The option A states that Gen AI is designed to generate responses based on a user's natural language prompts. This is the most accurate and complete description. Gen AI works by taking user input in natural language and producing new content such as text, images, code, or even audio. This makes it very powerful and easy to use across different business scenarios. Now let's look at other options to understand why they are not correct. Option B talks about translating documents into other languages. While Gen AI can do translation, this is just one specific use case. It does not define what Gen AI is. Option C refers to predicting future trends based on historical data. This is characteristic of predictive AI, not Gen AI. Option D is about recommending products based on user behavior. That is typically handled by recommendation systems, which again is a different category of AI. So when describing Gen AI to stakeholders, the most accurate and complete definition is option A. Next question. Select the answer that completes the sentence. Effective prompt engineering increases the dash. You have been given three options from the drop-down box. You need to choose the correct one that completes the sentence. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is accuracy and relevance of AI generated responses. Let's understand why. See, prompt engineering is all about how you design the input given to a Gen AI model. When you provide clear instructions, proper context, and specific constraints, the model is able to generate much better outputs. This directly improves both the accuracy and relevance of the responses, making them more useful and aligned with the user's intent. Looking at other options, the first one, prompt engineering does not affect storage capacity because it does not change how much data is stored. It also does not impact training time since prompts are used during inference, not during the training phase. So the correct answer is accuracy and relevance of AI generated responses. Next question. Your company uses a Gen AI solution. You need to improve the quality of responses by using grounding. Which statement accurately describes how grounding improves accuracy and relevancy? You have been given four options. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is anchors the responses in specific data sources. Let's understand why. Let's understand what grounding actually means and why it is important. In Gen AI, grounding refers to connecting the model's responses to real, trusted data sources. Instead of relying only on what the model learned during training, the system retrieves relevant information from sources like internal documents, databases, or knowledge repositories and uses that information to generate responses. This is important because Gen AI models can sometimes produce incorrect or fabricated answers, also known as hallucinations. Grounding reduces this problem by ensuring that responses are based on actual data. Now let's look at option C. It says that grounding anchors the responses in specific data sources. This is exactly the definition of grounding. It improves both accuracy and relevance because the model is using real context specific information. Looking at other options, option A talks about diverse perspectives that is related to fairness and inclusiveness, not grounding. Option B talks about explaining how models generate content. This is transparency. And option D talks about strengths and weaknesses of the model. That is evaluation, not grounding. So when the goal is to improve accuracy and relevance using grounding, the correct answer is option C, anchoring responses in specific data sources. Next question. Your company uses Microsoft 365 Copilot. You identify several business processes that require custom workflows and specialized automation. You need to recommend a solution that extends Copilot capabilities while minimizing development effort and costs. What should you recommend? Your options are on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is option D. Build a declarative agent by using the light experience of Microsoft Copilot Studio. Let's understand the requirement. See, the company wants to extend Copilot with custom workflows and automation, but also wants to minimize development effort and cost. This is of importance over here, minimizing development effort and costs. Declarative agents in the light experience are designed exactly for this. They allow you to define workflows and behaviors using configuration instead of writing complex code. This makes them faster to build and easier to maintain. Looking at other options, Foundry is powerful but requires more development effort. Option B, Copilot connectors can only bring external data. They do not create workflows. And option C, the full experience of Copilot Studio is more advanced and requires more effort compared to the light experience. So the best choice is to use a declarative agent in the light experience. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. The sentence is the analyst agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot. You have to choose one of the options from the four given in the drop-down box. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is uses structured data and provides insights by using text, charts, tables, and other visuals. Let's understand how. See, the analyst agent in Copilot is focused on working with structured data, such as spreadsheets and data sets. It analyzes the data and generates insights that help users understand trends, patterns, and key metrics. It does not just provide text responses, it can also present information using charts, tables, and other visuals, making it easier to interpret the data. Now, if you look at other options, the first one, compiling background research is a function of the researcher agent, not analyst agent. Generating audio summaries is not a core capability here. And answering employee FAQs is more aligned with conversational bots. So the correct answer is that the analyst agent works with structured data and provides insights using multiple formats such as text, charts, tables, and other visuals. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes to statements 1 and 2 and no for statement 3. Let's go through each statement. So statement 1 says a manufacturer can use Azure Vision and Foundry tools to identify product defects on an assembly line. Well, this is correct. Azure Vision can analyze images and detect defects, making it useful in manufacturing scenarios like identifying faulty products on an assembly line. Statement 2, a logistics company can use Azure Vision and Foundry tools to recognize package shipping labels. Yes, this is also correct. Azure Vision can read text from images using OCR, which makes it ideal for recognizing shipping labels in logistics. Third statement, the HR department at your company can only use Azure Vision and Foundry tools to extract written content from Microsoft Word files. See, the keyword over here is only. The HR department at your company can only use Azure Vision and Foundry tools to extract written content from Microsoft Word files. Well, this is incorrect. Azure Vision is not just limited to extracting text from Word files. In fact, Word document processing is better handled by Azure Document Intelligence. Azure Vision is mainly used for analyzing images and visual data. So the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Question 21. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Dash can analyze internal documents to detect personally identifiable information PII and redact the PII from the output. You have been given four options in a drop-down box and one of them will complete the sentence. And your options are Azure Language in Foundry Tools, Azure AI Search, Azure Vision in Foundry Tools, and Azure Document Intelligence in Foundry Tools. Okay, let's apply the principle of elimination. If you look at option 2, Azure AI Search, well, this is used for searching and indexing data, not for detecting PII. So this is obviously wrong. Azure Vision is focused on images, not text processing. So this is also incorrect. So we are left with two options, Azure Language and Foundry Tools and Azure Document Intelligence Foundry Tools. So either of these could be correct. Let's see what the documentation says. What is PII detection in Azure language? If you see over here, personally identified information, PII detection is an Azure language core capability that helps you to identify, classify, and redact sensitive data across text, conversations, and native documents. So the correct answer is Azure Language and Foundry Tools. If you talk about Azure Document Intelligence, see, it is used for extracting data from documents, but it does not specialize in PII detection and redaction. So the correct answer is Azure language in Foundry tools. It can identify sensitive entities like names, phone numbers, and addresses, and can also mask or remove them from the output. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes for statement one, no for statement two, and yes for statement three. Let's understand why. See, first statement says Copilot can help users compose professional emails and summarize conversations. This is correct. It can help draft professional emails and summarize conversations. This is one of the core capabilities in tools like Outlook and Teams. Next statement, when prompted, Copilot can autonomously update a spreadsheet that contains sales data. Well, this is incorrect. Copilot does not autonomously update spreadsheets. It can suggest changes and help analyze data, but the user must review and apply those changes. This ensures user control. Next statement, Copilot can summarize recent updates in business documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. This is correct. Copilot can definitely summarize content across documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. It helps users quickly understand key updates without going through all the details. So the correct answers are yes, no, and yes. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. When Copilot accesses company data using the principle of least privilege, this is an example of a dash control. Their options are data classification, data compliance, data loss prevention, DLP, or data security. The correct answer is data security. Let's understand why. See, the principle of least privilege means that the users and systems only get access to the data they absolutely need to perform their tasks. This is a fundamental concept in data security as it helps reduce the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches. In Copilot, this ensures that the AI only retrieves data that the user is already permitted to access. Now let's look at other options. Data classification is about labeling data, not controlling access. Data compliance is about meeting regulatory requirements. And data loss prevention focuses on stopping data leaks, not limiting access in the first place. So the correct answer after eliminating all these options is data security. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is yes for statements 1 and 2 and no for statement 3. Let's understand why. See, all these three statements are talking about the capabilities of generative AI only. If you go to first statement, Gen AI can be used in the automation of complex workflows. This is correct. Gen AI can help automate complex workflows by integrating with systems and handling multi-step tasks, making these processes more efficient. So it is correct. Statement 2, Gen AI can be used to generate new content such as text, images, and music. This obviously is correct. One of the main strengths of Gen AI is creating new content such as text, images, and even music. Third statement, Gen AI is best suited to perform mathematical calculations and solve equations. That is incorrect. Gen AI is not the best tool for mathematical calculations. While it can perform some calculations, it is not as reliable as dedicated mathematical or computational systems. So the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Adopting Microsoft responsible AI principles is important for your organization because the principles dash. And you have been given four options and one of them completes this sentence. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is promote the ethical and accountable use of AI. So the complete sentence is Adopting Microsoft responsible AI principles is important for your organization because the principles promote the ethical and accountable use of AI. Let's understand why. See, Microsoft's responsible AI principles are designed to ensure that AI systems are developed and used in a way that is ethical, fair, and aligned with societal values. These principles will include fairness, reliability, transparency, accountability, privacy, and inclusiveness. The goal is not just technical correctness, but responsible usage of AI across the organization. Looking at other options, the first one, ensuring consistent and equitable results is part of fairness, but it is only one aspect of responsible AI. Second one, increasing trust in fully autonomous systems is not accurate because responsible AI emphasizes human oversight. And standardizing development practices are more about engineering processes, not ethical principles. So the correct answer is to promote the ethical and accountable use of AI. Next question. Your company has a Microsoft 365 subscription and uses M365 Copilot Chat. Some users need to build and use declarative agents that can access work data. Which type of license should you recommend for the users? And your options are Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on license, Microsoft Copilot Studio user license, a Copilot Chat pay-as-you-go plan. And the correct answer is Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on license. Let's understand why. See, in this case, users need to build and use declarative agents that can access work data. This is the keyword over here, work data. Option A, the Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on license is designed exactly for this kind of scenarios. It allows agents to access organizational data, aka work data, such as emails, documents, chats, and calendars through Microsoft Graph. These agents can read, write, and act on the data while still following security and compliance policies. Looking at other options, option B, Copilot Studio is mainly used for building more advanced or custom agents. It is not specifically required for declarative agents within M365 that rely on work data. Option C, Copilot Chat Pay as you go only supports basic usage and does not provide these capabilities. Here is a simple way to remember this. If the question mentions M365, work data, and declarative agents, the answer is option A. If the question is about building advanced or custom agents, then think about Copilot Studio. So the correct answer is option A, a Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on license. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes to all three statements are indeed correct. Let's understand why. Let's go through each statement in a bit detail. So first statement says Microsoft Foundry helps organizations securely build and manage Gen AI solutions in a governed environment. This means it integrates with enterprise grade security, compliance, and responsible AI practices, ensuring that AI solutions are developed and deployed safely. This is correct. Second one, Microsoft Foundry provides built-in scalability to enable organizations to expand AI workloads as usage increases. This is also true. Microsoft build, Microsoft Foundry provides built-in scalability. As AI workloads grow, organizations can scale their infrastructure resources without needing to redesign their solutions. This makes it suitable for both small and large-scale deployments. Statement 3, Foundry can be used for image recognition and computer vision tasks. This is correct as well. Foundry includes access to AI capabilities such as Azure Vision, which allows organizations to perform image recognition and other computer vision tasks as part of the solutions. So when you look at all three statements, each one correctly describes the capability of Microsoft Foundry. So the correct answers are Yes, yes, and yes. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Prompt engineering is the process of, again, you have four options in a drop down. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is prompt engineering is the process of crafting clear instructions to guide Gen AI solutions in generating context appropriate content. Let's understand this. See, prompt engineering is all about how you design the input given to a Gen AI model. The better your instructions, the better the output. By providing clear context, specific requirements, and well structured prompts, you can guide the model to produce accurate and relevant results. Look at other options. The first one, integrating AI's tools into workflows is about implementation and not prompt design. Fixing errors in AI output is part of evaluation, not prompt engineering itself. And the third one, designing or training models is a completely different activity related to model development, not prompt engineering. So the correct answer is crafting clear instructions to guide Gen AI solutions. Next question. Your company plans to build a Gen AI solution that's based on internal data. You recommend using Foundry as a starting point to develop and manage the solution. What is the key benefit of using Foundry for this project? Again, you have four options. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is it provides a scalable platform for developing and deploying Gen AI solutions. Let's understand why. If you see the requirement, the company wants to build a Gen AI solution using Foundry. The question is asking for a key benefit of using Foundry. Option A is correct because Foundry provides a scalable platform for developing and deploying Gen AI solutions. It allows organizations to build, manage, and scale AI workloads efficiently, which is critical for enterprise scenarios. If you look at other option B says it removes the need to select and configure models. That is not correct because model selection is still an important part of the process. Option C says it is enables business users to build solutions. See, Foundry is primarily aimed at developers and technical teams. And option D talks about low code capabilities, which is not the main focus of Foundry. So the correct answer is option A scalable platform for Gen AI solutions. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. The primary goal of Gen AI is, and you have three options in a drop down. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is the primary goal of Gen AI is to create new content such as text, images, or code. Let's understand why. See, the primary goal of Gen AI is content creation. It takes input from the user, usually in the form of a natural language prompt, and generates new outputs based on that input. These outputs can include text, images, code, audio, and many more. For example, you can ask it to write an email, generate a product description, create an image, or even produce code. This ability to generate new content is what makes Gen AI different from traditional AI systems. Now let's take a look at other options to understand why they are incorrect. The option about analyzing trends and classifying data refers to analytical AI. That type of AI is used to understand data, not to create new content. And the last option about making predictions based on historical data refers to predictive AI, not Gen AI. This is used in scenarios like forecasting sales or predicting customer behavior. So when the question asks for the primary goal of Gen AI, the correct answer is creating new content. Question number 31. Your company uses generative AI to assist with content creation and customer interactions. You need to evaluate whether Azure machine learning can add value to the current customer management. For which use case should you use machine learning? Their options are on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option A, predicting customer retention. Let's understand why. See, the company is already using Gen AI for content creation and customer interactions. Now the question is asking where Azure machine learning can add additional value. Azure machine learning is best suited for predictive and analytical scenarios. It works on historical data to identify patterns and make predictions about future outcomes. Option A, predicting customer retention fits perfectly into this category. It involves analyzing past customer behavior, identifying patterns such as churn signals, and predicting whether a customer is likely to stay or leave. This is a classic machine learning use case. So option A is the right answer. Now let's look at other options. Option B, creating product description from images is a Gen AI task that involves vision and text generation. Option C, generating marketing campaigns is also about content creation, which is handled by generative AI. Option D, summarizing customer service transcripts also falls under generative AI, specifically text summarization. So when you compare all options, only option A represents a predictive machine learning scenario, while all others are talking about generative AI. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, predicting customer retention. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes to all. All three statements are true. Let's understand why. See, statement one says lack of trust in the security and accuracy of AI solutions is a common barrier to AI adoption. This is correct. Organizations are concerned about data security, privacy, and whether the AI is producing accurate results. If users do not trust the system, they simply will not use it, no matter how powerful it is. So statement one is right. Statement two says AI adoption efforts often fail when organizations overlook the importance of high quality data. This is also correct. See, AI models are only as good as the data they are trained on. If the data is incomplete, outdated, or biased, the outputs will be unreliable. This often leads to failed AI projects and wasted effort. So, second statement is also true. Third statement, AI adoption is most successful when implemented with business and compliance stakeholders. This is true as well. AI adoption works best when business, technical, and compliance teams work together. Business teams define the problem, technical teams build the solution, and compliance teams ensure it meets regulatory and ethical standards. When all three come together, AI adoption becomes much more successful. So, all three statements are indeed true. Next question. Your company plans to use an AI powered solution to analyze customer feedback for insights related to future product designs. You need to mitigate the privacy risks associated with the solution. What is the best approach to achieve the goal? Your options are on the screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option D, anonymize the source data to remove customer personally identifiable information PII from the feedback. Let's understand why. See, the company wants to analyze customer behavior using AI, but also needs to reduce privacy risks. Option D, anonymizing the data is the best approach. This means removing or masking personally identified information like names, email addresses, and phone numbers. By doing this, the AI system can still analyze feedback for trends and insights without exposing customer identity. This approach is important because it balances two things. First, it protects user privacy. Second, it still allows the organization to extract meaningful insights from the data. Now let's look at other options. Option A suggests deleting all data after analysis. While this reduces risk, it is not practical because organizations often need data for future analysis or model improvement. Option B suggests keeping the data linked to customers. This actually increases privacy risk instead of reducing it. Option C delays privacy considerations until the end, which is not recommended. Privacy should be built into the solution from the very start. So the correct answer is option D, anonymize the data. Next question. Your company creates a custom Azure machine learning model that uses a generative AI assistant. The model initially delivers strong results. However, 6 months later, the model predictions become noticeably less accurate. What is the possible cause of the solution? Your options are the model requires additional compute resources, the input data changed over time, or the model was trained incorrectly. And the correct answer is option B, the input data changed over time. Let's understand why. See, in this case, the model was performing well initially, but after 6 months, its accuracy dropped. This is a very common real world problem in machine learning. Option B explains this perfectly. The input data has changed over time. This is known as data drift or concept drift. The model was trained on historical data, but as real world patterns evolve, the new data no longer matches what the model has learned. As a result, the predictions become less accurate. Now let's take a look at other options. Option A talks about compute resources that might affect speed or performance, but not accuracy over time. Option C suggests the model was trained incorrectly. But since the model worked well initially, this is not an issue. So when accuracy drops after a period of good performance, the most likely cause is data drift. That's why the correct answer is option B. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. You use dash and you have been given four options in a drop down to train a model that will forecast product demand based on historical sales data. And your options are Azure Machine Learning, Azure AI Search, Azure OpenAI, and Microsoft Foundry. And the correct answer is Azure Machine Learning. Let's understand why. See, the goal is to train a model that can forecast product demand using historical sales data. This is a predictive use case. Azure Machine Learning is designed exactly for this scenario. It allows you to build models that learn from past data and predict future outcomes, such as demand forecasting. So, this is obviously the right answer. Let's look at other options. Azure AI Search is used for searching and retrieving data, not for prediction. Azure OpenAI is focused on generative AI like creating text or images, and Microsoft Foundry is a broader platform for managing AI solutions, but the actual model training for forecasting is done using Azure Machine Learning. So the correct answer is Azure Machine Learning. Next question. Your company uses a non-reasoning generative AI model to create textual content. You discover that the model's responses are inconsistent and do not meet expectations. You need to improve the prompts. What should you do? You have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option B. Add the context, sources, and expectations to the prompts. Let's understand why. So in this case, the model is giving inconsistent responses, which usually means the prompts are not clear enough. Option B is the best approach because it focuses on adding context, sources, and clear expectations. When you tell the model what the task is, what information to use, and what kind of output you expect, the results obviously become much more consistent and accurate. Now, let's take a look at other options. Option A talks about adding extensive examples. While examples can help, too many can actually confuse the model or make the prompt unnecessarily long. Option C suggests using technical terms, but complexity does not improve understanding. Clarity does. And option D suggests using only a single concise requirement. That usually leads to vague outputs because the model does not have enough context. So the best way to improve prompt quality is to add clear context and expectations. That's why the correct answer is option B. Next question. You have a historical data set that contains 1000 records. You need an AI solution that can analyze the data to identify patterns and predict future outcomes. What should you include in the solution? And your options are Microsoft Foundry, Azure Document Intelligence in Foundry Tools, Azure Machine Learning, or Azure Content Understanding in Foundry Tools? And the correct answer is option C, Azure Machine Learning. Let's understand why. In this case, you have a historical data set with 1000 records, and you need a solution that can analyze patterns and predict future outcomes. This is a classic predictive analytics scenario. And option C, Azure Machine Learning, is the correct choice because it is specifically designed for building predictive models. It allows you to train models on historical data, identify patterns, and generate forecasts such as future demand, trends, or behaviors. This is exactly how machine learning works. You feed it past data, it learns patterns, and then applies those patterns to predict what might happen next. Now let's take a look at the options. Option A, Microsoft Foundry is a platform that helps you manage and build AI solutions, but it is not specifically used for training predictive models. Option B, Azure Document Intelligence is used for extracting structured data from documents like invoices or forms. It does not perform predictive analysis. And option D, Azure Content Understanding focuses on analyzing and interpreting content, not predicting future outcomes. So when the requirement is pattern analysis and prediction, the correct choice is Azure Machine Learning. That's why the correct answer is option C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You again have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by watching the video over here. And the correct answer is no for statement 1, yes for statements 2 and 3. Let's understand why. Statement 1 says Copilot provides a single AI app that has identical features and experiences across all Microsoft products. This is incorrect. Microsoft Copilot is not a single app with identical features across all Microsoft products. Instead, it is embedded into different applications like Word, Excel, and Teams, and each one is designed for a specific purpose. For example, in Word, it helps with writing, in Excel, it helps with data analysis, and in Teams, it helps summarizing meetings. So the experience is not identical. Statement 2 says Copilot delivers AI capabilities for business users that use Microsoft 365 apps. This is correct. Copilot is built specifically for business users who use M365 applications. It helps with everyday tasks like drafting emails, creating documents, analyzing spreadsheets, and summarizing conversations. It uses organizational data to provide more relevant and contextual responses. Third statement says Microsoft Security Copilot helps companies understand risk and the organizational security posture. Well, this is also correct. Microsoft Security Copilot is designed for security teams. It helps them analyze threats, understand risks, and improve the overall security posture of the organization by providing AI-driven insights. So the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Next question. Your company plans to adopt AI across multiple business units. You need to ensure that all AI projects align with the company's business strategy and are implemented responsibly. What is the best approach to achieve the goal? You have four statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option D, establish an AI council to provide guidance, oversight, and coordination. Let's understand why. So in this case, the company wants to adopt AI across multiple business units, but also wants to ensure that all projects align with business strategy and are implemented responsibly. Option D that says establish an AI council is the best approach. An AI council provides centralized governance, ensures alignment with business goals, and enforces responsible AI practices across the organization. It also helps coordinate efforts between different teams and avoids duplication. Now let's take a look at other options. Option A allows each department to work independently, which can lead to inconsistency and lack of control. Option B limits decision making to IT, but AI requires input from business and compliance teams as well. So this is also incorrect. Option C involves outsourcing, which does not guarantee alignment with internal strategy or governance. So the best approach is to establish an AI council. Next question. Your company stores hundreds of internal business reports. You need to recommend a generative AI solution that uses an agent to answer questions based on the content in the reports. What should you include in the recommendation? And your options are A, natural language processing, B, Azure machine learning, C, RAG, retrieval augmented generation, or D, generative adversarial network, GAN. The correct answer is option C, retrieval augmented generation. Let's understand why. So in this case, the company has hundreds of internal reports and wants an AI solution that can answer questions based on that content. Option C, RAG is the perfect fit. See, RAG works by retrieving relevant information from documents at runtime and then using a generative AI model to create accurate and context aware responses. This means the answers are grounded in the company's actual data. So, C is the right answer. But now let's look at other options. Option A, natural language processing is a broad concept, it does not describe a complete solution. Option B, Azure machine learning is used for, as we have seen in previous questions, predictive modeling, not for document-based question answering. And option D, GANs are used for generating images, not for text-based retrieval and responses. So when the requirement is to answer questions based on internal documents, the correct approach is, you have got it now, RAG. That's why the correct answer is option C. Question 41. You need to recommend an AI solution for each task. The solutions must use pre-built AI capabilities to reduce development time. What should you recommend for each task? On your screen, you have been given three tasks to the left-hand side of your screen, and to the right-hand side of your screen, you have been given few Azure AI capabilities, some Azure AI services. And for each of the tasks, you need to choose one Azure service which will be used for that particular task. Okay, so the first task is extract information from invoices and credit notes. This is a structured document processing scenario. The correct answer in this case is Azure Document Intelligence and Foundry tools. This provides pre-built models specially trained to extract fields like invoice number, total amount, vendor details, and dates. It understands document layout and structure, not just raw text. Now, taking a look at other options, Azure AI search is not suitable because it is designed for indexing and retrieving information, not extracting structured data. And Azure machine learning, that would require building and training a custom model, which increases complexity and development time. And the question specifically says that we need to reduce development time. So Azure machine learning is not suitable for this particular task. Let's see the second task. The second task is identifying discussion topics in customer service call recordings. This is an audio-based scenario. The correct answer for this is Azure Speech and Foundry tools. This converts speech to text using speech to text capabilities. Once the audio is transcribed, further analysis like topic identification becomes possible. Looking at other options, Azure Content Understanding is not the best fit here because it is not designed to process raw audio. And Azure Document Intelligence is also not applicable because it only works with documents, not audio. So the correct answer for second task is Azure Speech. Taking a look at third task, the third task is detecting customer sentiment and opinions. This is a natural language processing task. The correct answer is Azure Language and Foundry tools. This provides built-in capabilities like sentiment analysis and opinion mining. It can determine whether feedback is positive, negative, or neutral, and even identify specific aspects being discussed. Looking at other options, Azure Machine Learning is not ideal here because it would require building a custom sentiment model. Azure Document Intelligence focuses on extracting structured data, not analyzing sentiments. So the key takeaway is this: choose services based on the data type and task. Use document intelligence for structured documents, speech for audio processing, and language for text understanding. That is the correct mapping. Next question. Your company sells hiking and camping gear online. You need a generative AI solution that can interact with customers, ask questions about their needs, and escalate to a human agent if necessary. What should you use? Your options are a chatbot, predictive AI, a recommendation engine, or computer vision. And the correct answer is a chatbot. Let's understand why. See, the solution needs to interact with customers, ask questions about their needs, and even escalate to a human agent when required. This clearly points to a conversational AI solution. Option A is chatbot. That is the best fit over here. A chatbot can engage users in real time conversations, ask follow up questions, understand user intent, and provide responses. It can also escalate the conversation to a human agent when needed, which is a common requirement in customer support scenarios. Taking a look at other options, option B, predictive AI is used for forecasting, not interaction. Option C, a recommendation engine can suggest products but does not ask questions or handle conversations. And option D, computer vision is used for analyzing images, not for interacting with customers. So the correct answer is option A, a chatbot. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is no for statements 1 and 2 and yes for statement 3. Let's understand why. So statement 1 says Azure Vision in Foundry tools can extract and analyze key phrases from PDF files. Well, Azure Vision can extract text from images or PDFs using OCR capabilities, but it does not perform language understanding tasks like key phrase extraction. Key phrase extraction requires natural language processing, which is provided by Azure Language. While Vision can read the text, it cannot interpret or analyze at a semantic level. So this statement is false. Statement 2 says Azure Vision Foundry tools can generate images based on natural language descriptions. Well, this is also false. Azure Vision is designed for analyzing visual content such as detecting objects, reading text, or identifying patterns in images. It does not generate images from text. Image generation is part of generative AI capabilities such as those provided by Azure OpenAI models. Statement 3, Azure Document Intelligence and Foundry tools can be used to automate the processing of invoices and credit notes. Well, this is correct. Azure Document Intelligence is specifically built for processing structured and semi-structured documents like invoices and credit notes. It uses pre-built models to extract key fields such as totals, vendor details, and dates, enabling automation and document processing workflows. So the key takeaway is this: Azure Vision is for analyzing images, Azure Language is for understanding text, and Azure Document Intelligence is for extracting structured data from documents. So the correct answers in this case are no, no, and yes. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. A dash AI solution recognizes patterns in large and complex data sets to create new and original content. And your options are in a drop-down box, prescriptive, predictive, or generative. And the correct answer is a generative AI solution recognizes patterns in large and complex data sets to create new and original content. Let's understand why. See, the keyword over here is to create new and original content. Creating new content is the defining feature of generative AI. Generative AI models learn from existing data and then generate outputs such as text, images, or code that did not exist before. So generative AI is the correct answer over here. Looking at other options, predictive AI focuses on forecasting future outcomes based on historical data. It identifies patterns but does not create new content. And prescriptive AI goes a step further by recommending actions based on predictions, but again, it does not generate new content. So when the requirement is about creating new and original content, the correct answer is, you know it now, generative. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Once again, you have been given three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes for statements 1 and 2 and no for statement 3. Let's understand why. Statement 1 says Copilot enables users to search across emails, files, chats, meetings, and connected apps by using natural language queries. That is absolutely correct. Copilot definitely allows users to search across emails, files, chats, meetings, and even connected apps using natural language. It brings all this information together using Microsoft Graph to provide relevant results. Second statement, Copilot provides data protection and helps ensure that the user prompts and chat data are secure. That is also correct. Copilot is built with strong security and compliance controls. It ensures that the user prompts and responses are protected and the data access follows existing permissions and policies. So this is also correct. The third statement, Copilot is included in all Microsoft 365 subscriptions. Well, that is false. Copilot is not included in all subscriptions. It requires a separate add-on license to use its features. So the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Next question. Your company's HR department spends a large amount of time answering repetitive questions and updating policy documents. You need a solution that can automate employee interactions, respond to HR related questions, and connect to internal business data sources. What should you recommend? And your options are Microsoft Security Copilot, Microsoft Copilot Studio, Microsoft 365 Copilot, and Microsoft Copilot in Azure. And the correct answer is option B, Microsoft Copilot Studio. Let's understand why. See, in this case, the HR department wants to automate employee interactions, answer repetitive queries, and connect to internal business data. This clearly points to a custom conversational solution. Option B, the Copilot Studio is the best fit over here. Why? Because it allows you to build custom agents that can interact with employees, answer related queries, and integrate with internal data sources like policies, documents, and systems. It also supports automation and escalation when needed. Looking at other options, option A, the security copilot is used for cybersecurity scenarios, not HR. Option C, M365 Copilot helps users within apps like Word and Outlook, but it does not allow you to build custom HR chatbots. And option D, Microsoft Copilot in Azure is not a specific solution for this particular requirement. So when you need a custom AI agent for business processes like HR, the right choice is Microsoft Copilot Studio. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes for statements 1 and 2 and no for statement 3. Let's understand why. Statement 1 says larger data sets can increase the cost of a Gen AI solution that uses an Azure machine learning workspace. This is absolutely correct. Larger data sets increase the cost of a Gen AI solution. This is because more data requires more storage, more processing, and more compute power during training and inference. In Azure Machine Learning, this directly translates to higher cost as resource usage increases. Statement 2 says the cost of consuming Azure OpenAI models is primarily identified by the number of input and output tokens processed. This is also correct. Yes, Azure OpenAI pricing is indeed based on tokens. Tokens represent pieces of text, and both the input you send to the model and the output it generates both consume tokens. So the longer your prompts and responses, the higher the cost. This is why efficient prompt design is of utmost importance. The last statement, the cost of custom generative AI solution always remains the same regardless of the model version or capability used. Well, this is incorrect. The cost of generative AI solutions is not fixed. It depends on several factors such as the model you choose, the model version, the amount of usage, and the compute resources required. More advanced models or higher usage will obviously result in higher costs. So the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Next question. You need to recommend a service that supports indexing information and knowledge mining by extracting insights from documents. What should you recommend? Your options are Microsoft Foundry, Azure Vision and Foundry Tools, Azure Document Intelligence and Foundry Tools, and Azure AI Search. And the correct answer is option D, Azure AI Search. Let's understand why. See, this question is asking for a service that supports indexing information and performing knowledge mining by extracting insights from documents. Option D, Azure AI Search is designed exactly for such scenarios. It can index large volumes of documents, apply AI enrichment to extract key information, and make that data searchable. This is what enables knowledge mining scenarios. Now, looking at other options, option A, Foundry is platform for building AI solutions, but not specifically for indexing and search. Option B, Azure Vision is used for image analysis, not document indexing. And option C, Azure Document Intelligence extracts data from documents but does not provide indexing and search capabilities. So when the requirement is indexing and knowledge mining, the correct choice is Azure AI Search. Next question. Your company uses a fine-tuned generative AI solution trained on data that is representative of the general population. You discover that some of the generated responses include inappropriate or exclusionary language based on ableist assumptions. You need to prevent the inappropriate responses. Your solution must minimize costs. What should you do? You have been given four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option B, apply a content moderation filter. Let's understand why. See, in this case, the model is generating inappropriate or exclusionary language, and the goal is to prevent this while keeping costs low. Option B, applying a content moderation filter is the best approach over here. Why? Because a moderation filter works in real time by analyzing the model's output before it is delivered to the user. If it detects harmful, biased, or inappropriate language, it can block or modify that response. This is important because it adds a safety layer on top of the model without requiring retraining. That makes it both fast to implement and cost effective. Now, looking at other options, option A suggests using a newer model. While newer models may improve quality, they do not guarantee the bias will be removed, and they can also increase cost. And the question specifically says that your solution must minimize cost. So option A is not correct. Option C involves retraining the model with better data. This is a good long-term solution, but it is expensive and time-consuming. Option D would actually make the problem worse by enforcing harmful content. So when you need a quick and low-cost way to prevent inappropriate responses, the best choice is a content moderation filter. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is no for statement one, yes for statement two, and no for statement three. Let's understand why. Statement 1 says a generative AI model guarantees factually accurate responses if the model is trained on a large dataset. Well, this is incorrect. A large dataset does not guarantee factual accuracy. Generative AI models can still produce incorrect or hallucinated responses because they generate outputs based on patterns, not verified facts. So, size alone does not ensure the correctness. Second statement, content filtering and responsible AI safeguards help a generative AI model generate safe and inoffensive content. But this is correct. Content filtering and responsible AI safeguards play an important role in making AI outputs safe. They help detect and prevent harmful or offensive content before it reaches users. Statement 3, a generative AI model always produces fair and unbiased results when the training data has been properly prepared and reviewed for fairness. Well, this is incorrect. Even if the training data is carefully prepared and reviewed, the model does not always produce fully fair and unbiased results. Bias can still exist due to how the model interprets data or due to unseen scenarios. So the correct answers are no, yes, and no. If you are preparing for this exam and want a structured way to practice, I have created a complete PDF covering all 100 questions. Now, this is not just another question dump. What makes this different is the depth of explanation. For every single question, I have not only explained why the correct answer is right, but also why the other options are wrong. And this is extremely important because in the actual exam, most questions are designed to confuse you with closed options. If you only memorize answers, you will struggle. But if you understand why the other options are incorrect, your confidence increases significantly. I've also kept the explanations aligned to how questions are asked in the exam. So as you go through the PDF, you will start recognizing patterns, eliminating wrong answers faster, and thinking in the right direction. You can use this PDF in multiple ways. You can attempt all 100 questions as a mock test, or you can go topic by topic and strengthen your concepts. It also works very well as a last day revision guide. This idea is simple. Instead of just practicing more questions, you practice smarter with better understanding. The link to download the PDF is available in the description below. Go through it once properly, and you will notice a big jump in your confidence and accuracy. Thank you. Question 51. What is considered a best practice when forming an AI adoption team in an enterprise environment? You have been given four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is option C. Include representatives from legal, leadership, and business units to align AI initiatives with organizational priorities. Let's understand why. See, AI adoption in an enterprise is not just a technology initiative, it is a business transformation initiative. Option C is correct because it recommends including representatives from legal, leadership, and business units right from the very beginning. This ensures that AI initiatives are aligned with organizational priorities, business goals, and regulatory requirements. Leadership helps define the strategy and priorities. Business units ensure that AI solution actually solves real problems and delivers value. And legal and compliance teams ensure that solution follows regulations and responsible AI practices. Now, looking at other options, option A focuses only on IT and project management initially. This creates a technology first approach and delays important governance decisions. Option B focuses on procurement and vendor selection before defining business needs, which is not the right approach. And option D focuses only on data scientists and engineers, ignoring business and compliance perspectives altogether. So the best practice is to take a cross-functional approach from the very beginning. That's why the correct answer is option C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is statements 1 and 2 are true, while statement 3 is false. Let's understand why. See, statement one says you can use Azure Language and Foundry tools to analyze the sentiment of customer reviews. Well, that is correct. Azure Language and Foundry tools provide sentiment analysis capabilities. This means it can analyze customer reviews and determine whether the sentiment is positive, negative, or neutral. It can also identify opinions and key phrases, which is very useful for understanding customer feedback. Statement 2, you can use Azure Language and Foundry tools to translate internal reports into multiple languages. Well, that is also correct. Azure Language includes translation capabilities that allow you to convert text from one language to another. This makes it suitable for translating internal reports into multiple languages for global teams. Statement 3, you can use Azure Language and Foundry tools to extract text from scanned documents. The keyword over is scanned. Well, that is incorrect. Extracting text from scanned document is not a language processing task. It requires OCR or optical character recognition, which is provided by Azure Document Intelligence. Azure Language works with text, but it does not extract text from images or scanned files. So the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Next question. What should you use for each task to answer? Select the appropriate options in the answer area. Well, once again, as you must have seen in the previous questions, you have been given three tasks to the left-hand side of your screen, and you have to map them to the proper Azure services given in a drop-down box to the right-hand side of your screen. Let's go through these tasks one by one. See, the first task is extracting structured data from forms and invoices. This is a document processing scenario, and that is why the correct answer is Azure Document Intelligence in Foundry tools. Azure Document Intelligence is specifically designed for such tasks. It can read documents, extract fields like invoice number, dates, and totals, and convert unstructured data into structured output. The next task is summarizing written content from business reports. This is a natural language processing task, which can be accomplished by Azure Language and Foundry tools. Azure Language provides built-in capabilities like text summarization and key phrase extraction, making it the right choice over here. The third task is generating descriptive text for uploaded images. This is a computer vision scenario. That's why the correct answer is Azure Vision and Foundry tools. Azure Vision can analyze images and generate captions or descriptions based on what it detects in the image. So the correct mapping is document intelligence for forms and invoices, language for summarization, and vision for image descriptions. Next question. You are exploring how Microsoft 365 Copilot uses Microsoft Graph to deliver AI-powered experiences. Which information in Microsoft Graph can Copilot use by default? You have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is emails, files, meetings, and chats in Microsoft 365. Let's understand why. See, let's understand this concept clearly because it is very important for Microsoft 365 Copilot. Microsoft Graph acts as the data foundation for Microsoft 365. It connects and organizes all the data that users interact with inside the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. This includes emails from Outlook, files from SharePoint and OneDrive, chats and conversations from Teams, as well as meetings and calendar data. Copilot uses Microsoft Graph to provide context-aware responses. This means when you ask a question, Copilot does not just generate a generic answer. Instead, it looks at your emails, documents, meetings, and chats, and then generates a response that is very relevant to your work. Now, looking at option A, it correctly includes emails, files, meetings, and chats. These are all native to M365 and are available through Microsoft Graph by default, subject to user permissions. Now, looking at other options, option B mentions data stored in a file share. This is not part of Microsoft Graph unless it is explicitly connected using connectors. Option C talks about social media activity, which is external and not part of Microsoft Graph. And option D refers to content from public websites, which is also not included in Microsoft Graph by default. So the key takeaway is that Copilot uses Microsoft Graph to access internal and 365 data, not external sources. That's why the correct answer is option A. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Once again, we have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes to all. All three statements are correct. Let's understand why. The first statement says a barrier to AI adoption can include data limitations and a lack of AI readiness and skills. Well, that is correct. One of the biggest barriers to AI adoption is data. If data is incomplete, of poor quality, or not properly governed, AI models will not perform well. In addition, organizations often lack the necessary skills and readiness to implement AI solutions effectively. Next statement. Organizations often struggle with AI adoption because they prioritize technology selection before defining clear business use cases. Well, that is also correct. Many organizations make the mistake of choosing technology first before defining the business problem. This leads to solutions that do not deliver real value. A better approach is to start with clear use cases and then select the right technology. The last statement, a lack of cross-functional collaboration is a common barrier to AI adoption. Well, that is correct as well. AI adoption is not just a technical effort. It requires collaboration between business teams, IT, data engineers, and compliance teams. Without this cross-functional alignment, AI initiatives often fail or do not scale. So the correct answers are yes, yes, and yes. Next question. Your company is building a portfolio of AI-powered business solutions. Company executives want to understand how Microsoft responsible AI principles can support the company's long-term goals. Which benefit best demonstrates the importance of responsible AI? You have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option B, enhances stakeholder trust and fosters sustainable AI adoption throughout the organization. Let's understand why. Let's understand the intent behind the question. The company wants to know how responsible AI supports long-term business goals. Option B is correct because responsible AI builds trust. When AI systems are fair, transparent, secure, and accountable, stakeholders such as employees, customers, and regulators are more likely to trust and adopt them. This trust is essential for scaling AI across the organization in a sustainable way. Looking at other options, option A suggests reducing executive oversight. This is incorrect because responsible AI actually requires stronger governance and oversight. Option C suggests that responsible AI guarantees accuracy. That is not true. It improves reliability but cannot eliminate all errors. Option D suggests reducing data protection and governance. Well, this is the opposite of responsible AI, which emphasizes strong data protection and compliance. The key takeaway is that responsible AI builds trust and enables long-term sustainable adoption. That's why the correct answer is option B. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, we have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is no for statement 1, yes for statement 2, and no for statement 3. Let's understand why. Statement 1 says to use Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, you must have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. That is incorrect. You do not always need a full M365 Copilot add-on license just to use Copilot Chat. Microsoft provides different access models, including limited experiences and pay-as-you-go options. While the full Copilot license unlocks deeper integration with apps like Word, Excel, and Teams, Copilot chat itself can be available without that full license in certain scenarios. Statement 2, Copilot chat provides context-aware assistance in M365 apps. Well, that is correct. Copilot chat provides context-aware assistance by leveraging Microsoft Graph. This means it can access organizational data such as emails, files, meetings, and chats and use that context to generate relevant and personalized responses. This is what makes Copilot powerful in a business environment. Statement 3, Copilot chat can only access information in open files and read emails. Well, that is incorrect. Copilot chat is not limited to just open files and emails. It can work across a wide range of M365 data sources, including Teams conversations, meeting transcripts, and shared documents, as long as the user has permission to access that data. So the key takeaway is that Copilot chat is flexible in licensing, context aware in its responses, and broad in the data it can access. So the correct answers are no, yes, and no. Next question. Which statement accurately describes the difference between a pre-trained generative AI model and a fine-tuned generative AI model? You have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option C. A pre-trained model is trained on broad data sets, while a fine-tuned model is adapted to perform well on a narrower domain-specific data set. Let's understand why. See, let's clearly understand the difference between pre-trained and fine-tuned models. A pre-trained model is trained on very large and diverse data sets. The goal is to learn general patterns in language such as grammar, context, and common knowledge. This makes the model general purpose and capable of handling a wide variety of tasks. A fine-tuned model, on the other hand, starts with that pre-trained model and then it is further trained on a smaller domain-specific data set. This helps the model perform better for a specific use case, such as legal analysis, medical insights, or customer support. Now, looking at option C, it correctly states that pre-trained models are trained on broad data sets, while fine-tuned models are adapted for narrower domain-specific tasks. Looking at other options, option A is incorrect because fine-tuning usually requires labeled or curated data. Option B is incorrect because pre-training is actually much more time-consuming and resource-intensive than fine-tuning. And option D is incorrect because it reverses the roles. Pre-trained models are general purpose, while the fine-tuned models are specialized. That's why the correct answer is option C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is yes for statement 1 and no for statements 2 and 3. Let's go through each statement in detail and understand why. Statement 1 says Foundry provides a unified platform for developers and data professionals to create custom end-to-end AI solutions. Well, that is correct. Microsoft Foundry provides a unified platform for developers and data professionals to build end-to-end AI solutions. It brings together capabilities like model selection, orchestration, evaluation, and deployment, thus making it ideal for technical teams working on advanced AI solutions. Statement 2 says Foundry provides a unified platform for low-code developers and business users to create custom end-to-end AI solutions. Well, that is incorrect. Foundry is not primarily designed for low-code developers or business users. While it simplifies some processes, it is still a developer-centric platform. For low-code scenarios, tools like Copilot Studio are more appropriate. Statement 3, you need a Copilot license to access Microsoft Foundry services. Well, that is incorrect. You do not need a M365 Copilot license to access Microsoft Foundry. Foundry is part of Azure and is accessed through Azure subscriptions, not M365 licensing. So the correct answers are yes, no, and no. Next question. Your company deploys an AI-powered loan approval solution that enables applicants to request an explanation as to why their loan application was denied. Which Microsoft responsible AI principle is this an example of? Your options are Fairness, privacy and security, transparency, or inclusiveness? The correct answer is transparency. See, the key requirement here is that the applicants can request an explanation for why the loan application was denied. This is very important because many AI systems can behave like black boxes where users do not even know how decisions are made. Transparency addresses exactly this kind of problem. It ensures that AI systems provide clear and understandable explanations for their decisions. In a loan approval scenario, this could include factors like credit history, income level, or risk assessment. This is critical not only for user trust, but also for regulatory compliance, especially in financial services where decisions must be explainable. Looking at other options, fairness is about avoiding bias and discrimination, but it does not focus on explaining decisions. Privacy and security deal with protecting user data, not explaining outcomes. And inclusiveness ensures accessibility, not explainability. So, whenever you see a scenario where the system explains its decisions to users, you should immediately think of transparency. That's why the correct answer is option C. Question 61. Your company is developing an AI powered customer support agent. You need to ensure that the solution follows Microsoft responsible AI principles. Which two actions should you perform? Your options are on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are option B and option E. Option B says test the agent to ensure that responses are inclusive and culturally sensitive. And option E, provide a clear disclaimer that users are interacting with an AI solution. Well, to understand the answer, first let's understand what are Microsoft responsible AI principles. See, these are the principles and approach defined by Microsoft responsible AI. And there are, if you see on the screen, 6 principles: fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. Now, if we take a look at the options, option B is correct over here because it focuses on testing the agent for inclusiveness and cultural sensitivity. This aligns with the principles of fairness and inclusiveness. AI systems should treat all users equally and avoid biased or offensive responses. Option E is also correct because it ensures transparency. Users should clearly know that they are interacting with an AI system and not a human. Providing a disclaimer builds trust and sets the right expectations. Now let's take a look at other options. Option A suggests retaining all customer conversations. Well, this can violate privacy principles if not properly governed. Option C suggests making the agent fully independent, but responsible AI requires human oversight and accountability. So this option violates that principle. And option D focuses on making the agent multi-purpose, which is not related to responsible AI. So the only correct answers are option B and option E. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given 3 statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answers are no for statement 1 and yes for statements 2 and 3. Let's go deeper into each statement so you can clearly understand the difference. First statement says a generative AI solution is well suited to predict next quarter's sales trends. Well, this is incorrect. Predicting next quarter's sales trends is a forecasting problem. This is typically handled by, as you must have seen in the previous question, a predictive machine learning model that analyzes historical data and identify patterns over time. Generative AI is not designed for this. It focuses on creating content, not producing accurate numerical forecasts. Statement 2, a generative AI solution can summarize lengthy policy documents. Well, this is correct. Generative AI is very effective at summarizing content. It can read long documents like policies or reports, understand the context, and generate a concise summary that highlights the most important points. This saves time and improves productivity. Statement 3 says a generative AI solution can create product descriptions from product specifications. This is also correct. Generative AI is excellent at content creation. It can take structured inputs like product specifications and turn them into well written, human like product descriptions. This is widely used in e commerce and marketing. So, the key takeaway is this: generative AI is best for creating and transforming content, while predictive AI is used for forecasting and numerical analysis. That's why the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. An organization's AI Champions program includes, and you have been given four options in a drop down box. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is users who advocate for the value of AI by learning, sharing, and identifying use cases. Let's understand why. See, an AI Champions program is not about technical development or infrastructure. It is about driving adoption within the organization. Champions are typically enthusiastic users who understand the value of AI and help spread that knowledge across teams. They learn how to use AI tools, share best practices, and identify real business use cases. They also help other employees get comfortable with AI and encourage adoption. Now let's take a look at other options. The option about technical teams designing analytics solutions refers to the specialized engineering or data team, not champions. The option about building infrastructure refers to platform or IT teams. And the option about defining AI strategy is something leadership or governance bodies do. So the key idea is that AI champions are advocates and enablers, not builders or decision makers. That's why the correct answer is users who advocate for the value of AI by learning, sharing, and identifying use cases. Next question. Your company plans to implement a proof of concept agent that uses Azure OpenAI. The solution must start small and provide flexibility to scale usage as demand grows. Which pricing model should you use? Your options are M365 Copilot, Batch API, PTUs, or Standard on Demand. And the correct answer is Standard on Demand. Let's understand why. So in this case, the company wants to build a POC using Azure OpenAI, start small and have the flexibility to scale as demand grows. Option D, standard on demand pricing is the best fit over here. This model is based on usage, meaning you only pay for what you consume. This makes it ideal for POC scenarios where demand is uncertain and you want to control costs while experimenting. As usage increases, the solution can scale naturally without needing upfront commitments. Now, looking at other options, option A, M365 Copilot is not a pricing model for Azure OpenAI. Option B, Batch API is designed for asynchronous processing and is not suitable for interactive POC scenarios. And option C, PTUs, they require upfront capacity commitment and is better suited for large scale, predictable workloads. So, for flexibility, cost control, and scalability in a POC, the best choice is standard on demand pricing. That's why the correct answer is option D. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. An effective way to scale AI proficiency and adoption amongst employees is to, you have four options in a drop down. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is establish a champions program for your company. Let's understand why. See, scaling AI adoption is not just about awareness or training. It is about continuous engagement, support, and real world application. A champions program creates a network of employees who actively promote AI usage within their teams. These champions learn the tools, share best practices, help others get started, and identify practical use cases. Because they are part of the business teams, they can drive adoption in a way that feels natural and relevant. Looking at other options, launching an awareness campaign helps initially, but it does not sustain adoption. Offering training improves knowledge, but without ongoing support, usage may remain low. And defining metrics helps measure the adoption, but it does not actually drive behavior. So the key takeaway is this: Adoption scales best when it is peer-driven and continuous. That's why the correct answer is establish a champions program for your company. Next question. Your company manages a website that publishes daily news articles. You need to recommend an AI solution that can analyze text and identify the main people, locations, and companies mentioned in the articles. What should you include in the recommendation? Your options are there on your screen. Please go through them, pausing the video over here. The correct answer is option A, Azure Language and Foundry Tools. Let's understand the requirement. If the company wants to analyze news articles and identify key entities such as people, locations, and companies. This is a natural language processing task called named entity recognition. Option A, Azure Language and Foundry Tools is the correct choice. It provides built-in capabilities to analyze text and extract entities like names, places, and organizations. This is exactly what is needed for analyzing news articles. Looking at other options, option B, Azure Vision and Foundry Tools is used for analyzing images, not text. And option C, Content Safety and Foundry Control Plane is used to detect harmful or unsafe content, not to extract entities. And option D, Azure Speech and Foundry Tools is used for processing audio, not for analyzing written text. So when the requirement is to analyze text and extract key entities, the correct answer is option A, Azure Language and Foundry Tools. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. The cost of using generative AI language models is based typically on the number of dash processed. Options are documents, requests, tokens, and words. The correct answer is tokens. Let's understand this properly because it is a very important concept. Generative AI models like Azure OpenAI do not charge based on documents or requests. Instead, they use a unit called tokens. A token is a piece of text. It can be a full word, part of a word, or even punctuation. Both the input you send to the model and the output it generates are counted in tokens. The total number of tokens processed determines the cost. Now, looking at the other options, documents is incorrect because documents can vary a lot in size. One document could be a few lines, while other could be hundreds of pages. So pricing based on documents would not accurately reflect usage. Requests is also incorrect because not all requests are equal. One request might be very short, while another could include a large prompt and generate a long response. Even though both are one request, they consume very different amounts of compute. Words is incorrect because tokens are not the same as words. A single word can be split into multiple tokens, and punctuation is also counted separately. The model processes text as tokens internally, not words. So the key takeaway is this: cost is based on how much text is processed, and that is measured in tokens. That's why the correct answer is tokens. Next question. Your company is preparing to adopt Microsoft 365 Copilot and wants to follow Microsoft responsible AI principles. As a business leader, you propose establishing an AI governance council to ensure alignment with the responsible AI principles. What is the primary purpose of the council? Your options are available on your screen. Please go through them, pausing the video over here. The correct answer is option D, to guide strategy, provide oversight, and ensure cross-functional alignment for responsible AI adoption. Let's understand why. Let's understand the role of an AI governance council. When an organization adopts AI, especially tools like M365 Copilot, it is not just a technical deployment. It is a strategic initiative that impacts business processes, compliance, and risk. Option D is correct because an AI governance council is responsible for guiding strategy, providing oversight, and ensuring cross-functional alignment. It brings together leadership, business, legal, and technical teams to ensure that AI is used responsibly and aligns with organizational goals. Looking at other options, option A focuses on monitoring user behavior, which is more of an IT or security function, not governance. Option B focuses on training users, which is part of adoption programs, not governance. Option C focuses on technical implementation and performance, which is handled by engineering teams. So the key takeaway is that the governance is about strategy, oversight, and alignment across the organization. That's why the correct answer is option D. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes for statement 1, no for statement 2, and yes for statement 3. Let's understand why. See, statement 1 says users that want to reason over work data by using a natural language prompt in Microsoft 365 Copilot must have a Copilot add-on license. Well, this is correct. To fully use Copilot, especially for reasoning over work data using natural language, users need a Copilot add-on license. This enables deep integration with Microsoft Graph and allows Copilot to access emails, files, meetings, and chats securely. Next statement says Microsoft 365 Copilot is included in Microsoft 365 E3 and Microsoft 365 E5 licenses. Well, this is incorrect. Microsoft 365 Copilot is not included in standard Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 licenses. It is a separate add-on that must be purchased. Many people get confused over here, but Copilot is not bundled by default. Next statement, some Microsoft 365 Copilot services are available through a pay-as-you-go plan. Well, this is correct. Some Copilot experiences, especially Copilot chat and certain agent capabilities, can be accessed through a pay-as-you-go plan. This provides flexibility for organizations to start small and scale as needed. So the key takeaway is that full Copilot capabilities require an add-on license. It is not included in E3 or E5 by default. And some experiences are available through flexible pricing models. Next question. Your company receives thousands of scanned invoices each month. You need to recommend an AI solution that can automatically extract key details such as invoice numbers, vendor names, and total amounts. What is the best solution to recommend? Your options are there on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option A, Azure Document Intelligence and Foundry Tools. Let's understand why. See, the company receives thousands of scanned invoices and wants to automatically extract key details like invoice numbers, vendor names, and total amounts. This is a document processing scenario, specifically extracting structured data from semi-structured documents. Option A, Azure Document Intelligence Foundry Tools, is the best choice. It provides pre-built models for invoices and can automatically extract key value pairs, tables, and structured information with high accuracy. Looking at other options, option B, Azure Vision can perform OCR and extract raw text, but it does not understand document structure like invoices. Option C, Azure AI Search is used for indexing and searching data, not for extracting information from documents. And option D, Azure Machine Learning would require building a custom solution, which is unnecessary when a pre-built service already exists. So the key takeaway is that for extracting structured data from invoices, document intelligence is the right solution. Question 71. Match the business scenario to the appropriate AI solution design approach. To answer, drag the AI solution from the column on the left to its business scenario on the right. Each solution may be used once, more than once, or not at all. In this question, you have been given 4 business scenarios to the right-hand side of your screen, and you have been given 4 AI solutions to the left-hand side of your screen. You have to match the AI solution which will be fit to the business scenario. In the real exam, you will be required to drag and drop the AI solutions to the appropriate box against the business scenario. For this question, yeah, let's map each requirement carefully to the right AI solution. The first one, for the marketing team, the requirement is to summarize emails and create presentations. These are core productivity scenarios with Microsoft 365 apps. So the correct choice is to use Microsoft 365 Copilot. It can generate summaries and presentations directly in Outlook and PowerPoint using organizational data. Second business scenario, for the HR team, they need a conversational agent for handling policy questions and leave requests. Well, this requires building a custom chatbot that can interact with users and connect to HR systems. So the correct answer is build with Microsoft Copilot Studio. The third scenario for the manufacturing team, the requirement is to predict maintenance schedules. The keyword is predict over here. This is a predictive analytics scenario based on historical data. As you must have noticed in the past so many questions, the correct solution in this case is to build with Azure Machine Learning. For the last business scenario, for the finance team, they want AI-powered access to ERP data using familiar tools. Well, this requires integrating external systems into the Copilot experience. So the correct answer is extend with Micro 365 Copilot connectors. So the key takeaway is this: use Copilot for productivity, Copilot Studio for custom agents, and Azure Machine Learning for prediction, and connectors for integrating enterprise data. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have been given three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes for statement 1, no for statement 2, and yes for statement 3. Let's understand why. The first statement says prompt engineering involves specifying guidelines that help a generative AI model generate useful and accurate responses. Well, this is correct. Prompt engineering is all about giving the AI clear instructions and guidelines so it can generate accurate and useful responses. The better the prompt, the better the output. Next statement. The instruction is the part of the prompt that includes examples to show the AI what its response should look like. Well, this is incorrect. This statement mixes up instructions and examples. Instructions tell the model what to do, while examples show the model how the output should look. These are two different components of a prompt, and this is incorrect. Third statement, the context is the part of the prompt that helps a generative AI model understand which information to use when generating a response. Well, this is correct. Context is very important because it provides the background information the model needs. This helps the AI understand what information to use and improves the relevance of the response. The key takeaway from this question is instructions guide the task, examples demonstrate the format, and context provides the necessary information. So the correct answer is yes, no, and yes. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To ensure that your organization follows trustworthy AI principles, the organization should establish an AI governance council too. You have been given three options in a drop-down box. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is guide AI strategy, ensure responsible AI oversight, and promote alignment across business units. Let's understand why. Let's understand the role of an AI governance council. An AI governance council is not responsible for building or deploying models. Instead, it operates at a strategic level. Its role is to define AI policies, ensure that responsible AI principles are followed, and align AI initiatives with business goals. This includes oversight of ethics, compliance, risk management, and cross functional coordination across teams like legal, business, and technology. Looking at other options, the option about configuring and deploying AI models is a technical responsibility handled by engineering teams. The option about managing day-to-day model training and labeling is an operational task handled by data scientists, not AI governance council. So the key takeaway is that governance is about strategy, oversight, and alignment, not execution. That's why the correct answer is to guide AI strategy, ensure responsible AI oversight, and promote alignment across business units. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Once again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are no for statement 1 and yes for statements 2 and 3. Let's go through each statement in a bit more depth. Statement 1 says allowing AI models to make autonomous decisions supports the Microsoft responsible AI principle of accountability. And this is incorrect. Allowing AI systems to make fully autonomous decisions does not support accountability. In fact, accountability requires human oversight. Organizations must remain responsible for decisions made by AI systems. This means there should always be mechanisms for humans to monitor, review, and intervene when necessary. Fully autonomous decision making without oversight can increase risk and reduce trust. Statement 2, regularly testing AI models for fairness and inclusiveness helps ensure they align with Microsoft's responsible AI principles. Well, this is correct. Regular testing for fairness and inclusiveness is a key part of responsible AI. AI systems can unintentionally introduce bias if not properly evaluated. By continuously testing models, organizations can ensure that outcomes are fair across different groups and that the system behaves ethically and consistently. Third statement says protecting user data and limiting access to personal information supports the Microsoft responsible AI principles of privacy and security. This is also correct. Protecting user data and limiting access to personal information directly supports the principles of privacy and security. This includes implementing controls such as encryption, role-based access, and data minimizations to ensure sensitive information is handled safely and in compliance with regulations. So the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Dash is a unified platform for enterprise AI development where you can build, customize, evaluate, and manage AI apps and models. You have been given three options in a drop-down box, and the correct answer is Microsoft Foundry. Let's understand the key phrase in this question. It says a unified platform for enterprise AI development where you can build, customize, evaluate, and manage AI apps and models. This description directly matches Microsoft Foundry. Foundry is designed as an end-to-end platform that brings together all the capabilities needed for enterprise AI, including model selection, orchestration, evaluation, and deployment. Looking at other options, Power Platform is mainly a low-code platform for building apps and automation. While it can use AI, it is not designed for full AI lifecycle management. Azure Machine Learning is focused on building and training machine learning models. It is powerful, but it is more specialized and not a unified platform for all AI scenarios. Hence, the correct answer is Microsoft Foundry. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answers are no for statement 1, yes for statement 2, and no for statement 3. Let's go through each statement carefully. Statement 1, prompt engineering changes how a generative AI model was trained. Well, this is incorrect. Prompt engineering does not change how the model was trained. The training process happens beforehand using large datasets. Prompt engineering only affects how we interact with the model at runtime by improving the input we provide. Statement 2 says prompt engineering focuses on designing clear, concise, and context rich instructions. Well, this is correct. Prompt engineering focuses on designing clear, concise, and context rich instructions. The better the prompt, the better the response. Adding context and defining expectations helps the model generate more accurate results. Statement 3, effective prompt engineering involves maximizing the number of tokens used in each request. Well, this is incorrect. Effective prompt engineering is not about maximizing tokens. In fact, using too many tokens can increase cost and reduce clarity. The goal is to provide just enough information to guide the model effectively. So the correct answers are no, yes, and no. Next question. You need to create a custom Azure machine learning model. The data used to train the model is consistent and uniform. What should you do first? And your options are Prepare the training data, evaluate the model, train the model, tune hyperparameters, or deploy the model? And the correct answer is option A, prepare the training data. Let's walk through the proper machine learning lifecycle. Even though the question says that the data is consistent and uniform, the first step is always data preparation. Option A is correct because preparation ensures the data is clean, properly formatted, labeled if required, and split into training and testing datasets. Without this step, the model cannot learn correctly. Looking at other options, option B, evaluate the model, comes after training. You can only evaluate performance once a model has been built. Option C, train the model, is the next step after data preparation. Training without preparing the data can lead to poor accuracy and unreliable predictions. Option D, tune hyperparameters, is an optimization step. You first train a baseline model, then adjust parameters to improve performance. So this obviously cannot be the first step. Option E, deploy the model, is the final stage. Deployment happens only after the model is trained, tested, and validated for real world use. So the key takeaway is a successful machine learning solution always start with high quality data preparation. The correct answer is option A. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are no for statements 1 and 2 and yes for statement 3. Let's go through each statement in a bit more detail. Statement 1 says a text to image generator can be used to translate content into other languages. Now, this is incorrect. A text to image generator is designed to create images from text descriptions. For example, you can describe a scene and the model generates a corresponding image. However, it does not perform language translation. Translation is a natural language processing task handled by language models and not image generation models. Statement 2 says a predictive analytics models can generate new marketing content for a company's online ads. This is also incorrect. Predictive analytics models are used to analyze historical data and forecast future outcomes such as sales trends or customer churn. They are not designed to generate new content. Creating marketing content like ad copy or product descriptions is a generative AI use case, not predictive analytics. Statement 3 says a generative AI chatbot can engage customers in personalized conversations and recommended products. Well, this is correct. Generative AI chatbots can engage in personalized conversation with users. They can understand context, respond intelligently, and even recommend products based on user preferences. This is widely used in customer support, e-commerce, and virtual assistant scenarios. Hence, the correct answers are no, no, and yes. Next question. What is a key feature of Copilot that aligns with the Microsoft responsible AI principles of transparency, reliability, and safety? Your options are there on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option C, provides grounded, verifiable responses based on organizational data. Let's understand what the question is asking. It focuses on Microsoft responsible AI principles, specifically transparency, reliability, and safety. Option C is correct because it talks about grounded and verifiable responses. Microsoft 365 Copilot uses organizational data through Microsoft Graph to generate responses that are based on real, trusted information. This supports transparency because users can understand where the information is coming from. It supports reliability because grounding reduces incorrect or fabricated responses. And it supports safety because the data respects user permissions and organization policies. Looking at other options, option A suggests automatically approving AI generated content, which removes unnecessary human oversight and increases risk. Option B suggests removing human review entirely, which goes against responsible AI principles. Option D focuses on model selection, which is more about governance and not about how responses are generated. So the key takeaway is that grounded and verifiable responses are central to responsible AI. Hence, the correct answer is option C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Once again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are no for statement 1 and yes for statements 2 and 3. Let's go through each statement carefully. Statement 1 says for a user to access organizational data from a mobile device, the user needs a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. Well, this is incorrect. Accessing organizational data from a mobile device does not require a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. Users can access emails, files, and other data through standard M365 apps like Outlook and Teams using their existing licenses. Statement 2 says to reason over your organizational data by using Graph, you need a M365 Copilot license. Well, this is correct. This is because Copilot uses AI to analyze and generate insights from your data, which goes beyond simple access. Statement 3 says to use the analyst agent, you need a M365 Copilot license. Well, this is also correct. The analyst agent is part of M365 Copilot capabilities. Since it performs advanced data analysis, it requires a Copilot license. Hence, the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Question 81. Match the business processes to the appropriate Microsoft Copilot solutions. To answer, drag the Copilot solution from the column on the left to its business process on the right. Each solution may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Again, you have been given 4 solutions to the left-hand side of your screen and 2 business processes to the right-hand side of your screen. Let's match each business requirement to the correct Copilot solution. See, the first requirement is creating financial summaries and visual reports from Microsoft Excel workbooks. This is a productivity use case within Excel. So the correct answer is Microsoft 365 Copilot. It can analyze data, generate summaries, and create charts directly in Excel. The second requirement is building an autonomous agent using a low-code approach. This requires creating a custom conversational agent. So the correct answer is Microsoft Copilot Studio, which is designed for building agents with minimal coding. Looking at other options, Copilot and Power Automate is mainly for workflow automation, not for building conversational agents or Excel analysis. GitHub Copilot is focused on helping developers write code, not business users. So the key takeaway from this question is use Microsoft Copilot for in-app productivity tasks and Copilot Studio for building custom AI agents. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. There are 3 statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes for statement 1, no for statement 2, and yes for statement 3. Let's go through each statement in detail. Statement 1 says Microsoft 365 Copilot can amplify existing data governance challenges. Well, this is correct. Microsoft 365 Copilot can amplify existing data governance challenges because Copilot uses Microsoft Graph to access organizational data. Any issues like over-permissioned access or poor data classification become more visible. If governance is weak, Copilot can unintentionally expose more information. Statement 2 says implementing Microsoft 365 Copilot reduces data management costs. That is incorrect. Implementing Copilot does not automatically reduce data management costs. In many cases, organizations actually need to invest more in governance, compliance, and security to prepare the data properly. Statement 3 says Microsoft 365 Copilot can help IT teams manage data risks. Well, that is correct. Copilot can help IT teams manage data risk because it works within existing security and compliance frameworks. It respects permissions and integrates with tools like Purview, helping organizations identify and address risks. So the key takeaway is Copilot highlights governance gaps, requires proper data preparation, and can support better risk management. That's what the correct answers are. Yes, no, and yes. Next question. You have a large language model that was pre-trained by using public data. You want the LLM to generate responses that incorporate frequently updated proprietary content, such as internal documents and knowledge bases. You need to recommend a solution to ensure that LLM uses the most current information without retraining the model. What should you include in the recommendation? Your options are RAG, prompt engineering, content filtering, or model fine tuning. And the correct answer is retrieval augmented generation, RAG. Let's understand the requirement. See, the model is pre-trained on public data, but now you want it to use frequently updated internal content like documents and knowledge bases without retraining. Option A, RAG is the correct solution. RAG works by retrieving relevant information from external data sources at runtime and providing it to the model as context. This allows the model to generate responses using the most current information. Looking at other options, option B, prompt engineering only improves how you structure the prompts. It does not give the model access to new or updated data. Option C, content filtering is used for safety and moderation, not for improving the knowledge. And option D, fine tuning involves retraining the model, which is not suitable for frequently changing data and is more expensive. The key takeaway is if you want up to date responses without retraining, you use retrieval based approaches. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Microsoft 365 Copilot can be used to, and you have four options in a drop down box. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is create a Microsoft Word document. Well, let's understand this from a capability perspective. Microsoft 365 Copilot is designed to enhance productivity within Microsoft 365 applications such as Word, Excel, Outlook, and PowerPoint. In Word, Copilot can generate documents from prompts, summarize content, and refine text, making document creation a core use case. Looking at other options, monitoring network traffic is a security function handled by tools like Microsoft Sentinel, not 365 Copilot. Creating a SharePoint list is a configuration task related to data structure, not a primary Copilot capability. Modifying administrative permissions is a sensitive operation that requires governance and control and cannot be performed by Copilot. So the key takeaway is that Microsoft 365 Copilot focuses on content creation productivity within applications, not infrastructure monitoring or administrative control. That's why the correct answer is to create a Microsoft Word document. Next question. Which business requirement most closely relates to grounding a generative AI model? And your options are on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option D, ensuring that verified company data sources are used for response generation. Let's go deeper into what grounding really means. Generative AI models are pre-trained on large datasets, but that data can be outdated or too general. Grounding solves this problem by connecting the model to real, trusted data sources like internal documents or knowledge bases. In practice, this is done using a technique called retrieval augmented generation. When a user asks a question, the system first retrieves relevant information from enterprise data sources and then passes that information to the model. The model then generates a response based on that context. This improves accuracy, reduces hallucinations, and ensures that responses are aligned with company data. Now, looking at option D, it directly reflects this concept because it focuses on using verified company data sources. The other options do not relate to grounding. Option A is about multilingual support, option B is about usage metrics, and option C is about user interaction. That's what the correct answer is option D. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes for statement 1 and no for statements 2 and 3. Let's go through each statement in a bit more detail. Statement 1 says Microsoft 365 Copilot helps users create and analyze content in Microsoft 365 apps. This is correct. Microsoft 365 Copilot is integrated into applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. It helps users create, summarize, and analyze content directly within these tools. For example, it can generate documents in Word, analyze data trends in Excel, and summarize emails or meetings in Outlook and Teams. This clearly aligns with the statement. Statement 2 says Microsoft Copilot Studio can be used to customize Microsoft 365 Copilot. Well, that is incorrect. Microsoft Copilot Studio is not limited to customizing Microsoft 365 Copilot. It is a broader platform that allows organizations to build custom AI agents and chatbots. These agents can be used across different business scenarios, integrated with enterprise systems, and even operate independently of Copilot. Hence, this is false. Next statement, Microsoft Security Copilot uses AI to assign sensitivity labels to documents. Well, this is also incorrect. Microsoft Security Copilot is focused on security operations such as threat detection, incident response, and analyzing security signals. Assigning sensitivity labels to documents is handled by Microsoft Purview Information Protection, not Security Copilot. So the key takeaway from this question is Microsoft 365 Copilot enhances productivity, Copilot Studio enables custom AI agents, and Security Copilot focuses on security use cases. Hence, the correct answers are yes, no, and no. Next question. Your company stores thousands of reports and documents across multiple systems. You recommend using Azure AI Search as part of new generative AI solution to improve information discovery. What is the key benefit of using Azure AI Search in this scenario? You have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. The correct answer is option B, queries and retrieves information from large collections of data by using natural language. Let's understand the requirement. The company has thousands of reports and documents spread across multiple systems, and the goal is to improve information discovery using Azure AI Search. Option B is correct because Azure AI Search is designed to index large volumes of data and allow users to query and retrieve relevant information using natural language. It supports semantic search, which helps users find meaningful results even if exact keywords are not used. In generative AI solutions, Azure AI Search is often used as part of a retrieval layer where relevant documents are fetched and then used by the model to generate accurate responses. Looking at other options, option A is incorrect because generating responses without referencing data defeats the purpose of using a search service. Option C refers to workflow automation, which is not the role of Azure AI Search. And option D refers to fine tuning, which is a model training process, not a search capability. Hence, the correct answer is option B. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes a sentence. The main difference between generative AI and predictive AI is that generative AI, and you have three options on your screen, uses a smaller data set, produces more accurate results, can produce new and original content. And the correct answer is the difference is that generative AI can produce new and original content. Let's understand the key difference between generative AI and predictive AI. Generative AI is designed to create new content. This can include text, images, code, or even audio. It generates outputs that did not exist before based on patterns it has learned during training. Predictive AI, on the other hand, focuses on analyzing historical data to make predictions. For example, forecasting sales, predicting customer churn, or classifying data. Now, looking at other options, using a smaller data set is not a defining difference. In fact, generative AI models are usually trained on very large data sets. Producing more accurate results is also not correct. Accuracy depends on the specific use case, and predictive models are often more reliable for forecasting tasks. So, the key takeaway is generative AI creates new content while predictive AI predicts outcomes. That's why the correct answer is can produce new and original content. Next question. You need to recommend a generative AI solution that meets the following business requirements: processes both images and text, summarizes the design of a building, answers user questions about a building's design, extracts information from blueprints such as location of electrical, heating, and plumbing systems. What should you recommend? Your options are a multi-model solution, an OCR solution, a text completion solution, or a document summarization solution. And the correct answer is option A, a multi-model solution. Let's carefully analyze the requirement. The solution must process both images and text, summarize building designs, answer user questions, and extract detailed information from blueprints such as electrical, heating, and plumbing systems. This clearly requires understanding the visual data and generating textual insights. So the solution must handle multiple data types altogether. Option A, a multi-model solution, is designed exactly for this. It can process images like blueprints, understand spatial relationships, and combine that with text-based reasoning to generate summaries and answer questions. Looking at other options, option B, OCR can extract text from images. It cannot understand the layout or relationships within a blueprint, so it cannot interpret building design or answer complex questions. Option C, text completion works only with text. It cannot process images at all, which makes it unsuitable for handling blueprints. Option D, document summarization is also limited to text. It can summarize documents but cannot analyze visual content or extract structured information from diagrams. So the key takeaway is when a solution needs to understand both visual and textual information together, a multimodal approach is required. That's why the correct answer is option A. Next question. Your company discovers that several employees use personal ChatGPT accounts to assist with work tasks. You are concerned about proprietary data being shared externally. You need to evaluate the business value of rolling out Microsoft 365 Copilot. Which capability is a key benefit of using Copilot instead of a personal ChatGPT account? Your options are there on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option D, accessing internal data in accordance with existing Microsoft 365 policies. Let's focus on the key concern in the question. Employees are using personal ChatGPT account and the company is worried about proprietary data being shared externally. The real requirement here is not just productivity, but data security and governance. Option D is correct because Microsoft 365 Copilot operates within the organization's Microsoft 365 environment. It uses Microsoft Graph and respects existing permissions, compliance policies, and security controls. This ensures that data is accessed securely and only by authorized users. Looking at other options, option A talks about analyzing data, which many AI tools can do. Option B focuses on idea generation, which is also a common capability. Option C is about drafting content, which again is not unique to Copilot. None of these address the core concern of protecting proprietary data. So the key takeaway is the biggest advantage of Microsoft 365 Copilot over personal AI tools is that it operates within enterprise security and governance boundaries. Hence, the correct answer is option D. If you are preparing for this exam and want a structured way to practice, I have created a complete PDF covering all 100 questions. Now, this is not just another question dump. What makes this different is the depth of explanation. For every single question, I have not only explained why the correct answer is right, but also why the other options are wrong. And this is extremely important because in the actual exam, most questions are designed to confuse you with closed options. If you only memorize answers, you will struggle. But if you understand why the other options are incorrect, your confidence increases significantly. I've also kept the explanations aligned to how questions are asked in the exam. So as you go through the PDF, you will start recognizing patterns, eliminating wrong answers faster, and thinking in the right direction. You can use this PDF in multiple ways. You can attempt all 100 questions as a mock test, or you can go topic by topic and strengthen your concepts. It also works very well as a last day revision guide. This idea is simple. Instead of just practicing more questions, you practice smarter with better understanding. The link to download the PDF is available in the description below. Go through it once properly and you will notice a big jump in your confidence and accuracy. Question 91. Select the answer that correctly completes a sentence. When a generative AI model produces output that seems realistic but contains incorrect information, the behavior is known as, and you have four options in a drop down. The options are data leakage, model inaccuracy, over reliance, prompt injection. And the correct answer is model inaccuracy. Let's understand why. See, the question describes a situation where a generative AI model produces output that appears realistic and convincing, but actually contains incorrect information. This is a well-known behavior in Gen AI systems. These models do not retrieve facts from a database by default. Instead, they generate responses based on patterns learned during training. Because of this, they can sometimes produce answers that sound confident and fluent but are factually wrong. This behavior is referred to as model inaccuracy and is commonly also known as hallucination. Now let's look at why the other options are incorrect. Data leakage refers to exposing sensitive or confidential information, which is a security issue, not an accuracy issue. Over-reliance is a human behavior where users trust AI outputs too much without verifying them. It is not a property of the model itself. Prompt injection is a type of attack where malicious input is used to manipulate the model's behavior. It is related to security, not incorrect output generation. So the key takeaway is generative AI can produce responses that sound correct but are not always factually accurate. And this is a known limitation called model inaccuracy or hallucination. That is why the correct answer is model inaccuracy. Next question. Your company is evaluating the use of Copilot Studio to support business process automation and employee self-service. Which two capabilities are directly supported in Copilot Studio? You have five options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option B and option D. Let's understand why. See, Copilot Studio is a platform for building custom AI agents that can automate business processes and support employees' self-service scenarios. Option B is correct because Copilot Studio allows you to customize how agents behave and respond. You can define conversation flows, logic, and responses based on business needs. Option D is also correct because Copilot Studio enables building agents that connect to business data and automate interactions. These agents can answer questions, trigger workflows, and integrate with enterprise systems. Looking at other options, option A relates to drafting and summarizing content Word and PowerPoint, which is a M365 Copilot capability. Option C refers to security incident response, which is handled by Microsoft Security Copilot. Option E refers to document security configuration, which is managed by Microsoft Purview. So the key takeaway is this: Copilot Studio is focused on building and customizing agents that automate interactions and connect to business data. Hence, the correct answers are option B and D. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. You have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes for statements 1 and 2 and no for statement 3. Let's understand why. See, statement 1 is Microsoft 365 Copilot connectors enable you to index data from multiple sources to make the data available in Copilot. This is correct. Microsoft 365 Copilot connectors enable organizations to bring in data from multiple external sources such as third-party systems or internal platforms. This data is indexed and made accessible through Microsoft Graph, allowing Copilot to use it for generating more relevant and context-aware responses. This is especially important for grounding AI outputs in enterprise data. Second statement is you can build a custom Micro 365 Copilot connector when the available connectors do not meet your data integration requirements. This is also correct. See, when pre-built connectors do not meet specific integration requirements, organizations can build custom connectors. This allows them to integrate proprietary systems or unique data sources, ensuring that Copilot can access all relevant business information. The last statement, to use M365 Copilot connectors, you need a Microsoft Copilot Studio license. Well, this is incorrect. A Copilot Studio license is not required to use connectors. Copilot Studio is primarily used for building custom agents and conversational experiences. Connectors, on the other hand, are part of the M365 ecosystem and can be configured independently. That is why the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Next question. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Using high quality grounding data in a generative AI solution, and you have four options on your screen in a drop down box. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is improves the accuracy and reliability of the predictions and outputs of AI. Let's understand why. Before that, let's understand what grounding does in a generative AI solution. See, grounding provides the model with relevant, trusted data at runtime, such as internal documents or knowledge bases. This allows the model to generate responses that are aligned with real information instead of relying only on its pre-trained knowledge. This improves both accuracy and reliability, which is why this option is correct. Now let's look at the other options. Ensuring that the responses are factually accurate is incorrect because grounding improves accuracy but does not guarantee perfection. Increasing performance of the model is also incorrect because grounding does not make the model faster or more efficient. Increasing storage is not relevant because grounding uses external data sources rather than changing how the model is stored. That is what the correct answer is. Improves the accuracy and reliability of the predictions and outputs of AI. Next question. Your company purchases Microsoft 365 Copilot for its sales department. The sales department needs to find and summarize information across internal documents quickly. From which two data sources can the sales department obtain results by default? And you have five options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are options A and C, Microsoft OneDrive and Microsoft SharePoint. Let's understand how M365 Copilot accesses data. As mentioned earlier, Copilot uses Microsoft Graph to retrieve information from core Microsoft 365 services based on user permissions. This means it can access data that users already have access to within the M365 ecosystem. Option A, Microsoft OneDrive is correct because it stores personal and work documents that Copilot can analyze and summarize. Option C, SharePoint is also correct because it contains shared organizational content such as team sites and document libraries. Looking at other options, option B, on-premises file shares is not accessible by default and require additional integration. Option D, Microsoft Sway is not a primary data source used by Copilot for enterprise knowledge retrieval. And option E, a custom CRM system is external and would require connectors to integrate. That is why the correct answers are options A and C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are yes for statements 1 and 2 and no for statement 3. Let's go through each statement in detail. Statement 1 says content filtering controls can prevent AI generated responses from exposing confidential and sensitive information. That is correct. Content filtering controls can help prevent AI generated responses from exposing sensitive or confidential information. These controls act as a safety layer that detects and blocks inappropriate or restricted content. Next statement, AI generated content can unintentionally reveal sensitive information if the generative AI model has access to unsecure data sources. This is also correct. If a generative AI model has access to unsecured or poorly governed data sources, it can unintentionally reveal sensitive information. This is why strong data governance and access controls are essential. Next statement, if to prevent data exposure, only the prompts used by users must be protected by using policies. Well, that is incorrect. Protecting only user prompt is not enough. Data exposure can occur from multiple points, including the data sources, the model outputs, and system integrations. A comprehensive security approach is required here. Hence, the correct answers are yes, yes, and no. Next question. Your company is reviewing a new AI solution before deploying it. The company wants to ensure that the solution follows Microsoft responsible AI principles. What is the best approach to achieve the goal? You have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option B. Test the AI solution to identify and mitigate potential unfair or inconsistent outcomes in its outputs. Let's understand the requirement. See, the company wants to ensure that the AI solution follows Microsoft responsible AI principles before deployment. Option B is correct because it focuses on testing the solution for fairness and consistency. This helps identify bias and unintended outcomes and allows the organization to mitigate these risks before going live. And looking at other option A suggests fully automated decision making for loan approvals, which can violate accountability and fairness principles because it removes human oversight. Option C focuses only on model performance, which is not enough. Responsible AI requires considering ethics, fairness, and safety in addition to performance. And option D suggests collecting and storing personal data, which increases privacy risks and goes against principles like data minimization. Hence, the correct answer is option B. Next question. Your company has an AI solution that uses a pre-built Azure OpenAI model to generate content. You need to reduce the cost of solution while minimizing the impact on the quality of the generated output. Which two actions should you perform? And you have five options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are option A, switch to an alternate model, and option C, optimize the prompts. Let's understand the requirement more clearly. See, the goal over here is to reduce the cost of a generative AI solution while minimizing the impact on output quality. So we need approaches that optimize cost without significantly degrading performance. Option A is correct because switching to an alternate model allows you to choose a more cost efficient model with a better price to performance ratio. For example, using a smaller or optimized model can reduce token costs while still delivering acceptable quality for the use case. Option C is also correct because optimizing prompts directly reduces token consumption. By making prompts more concise and focused, you reduce the number of input and output tokens processed, which directly lowers cost. At the same time, better prompt design can actually improve response quality. Looking at other options, option B, applying content moderation, is focused on safety and compliance. It does not impact token usage or cost. Option D, decreasing hosting hours, is not relevant because Azure OpenAI pricing is based on tokens processed, not on how long the model is running. Option E, fine tuning, involves additional training and maintenance costs. While it may improve quality, it typically increases cost rather than reducing it. Hence, the correct answers are options A and C. Next question. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Once again, you have three statements on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answers are no for statement one and yes for statements two and three. Let's go through each statement carefully. First statement says RAG requires model fine tuning. Well, that is incorrect. RAG does not require fine tuning. Instead of retraining the model, it retrieves relevant information from external data sources at runtime and uses that information to generate responses. Statement 2, RAG is helpful when you need a generative AI solution that can access current verifiable information. That is correct. RAG is very useful when you need access to current and verifiable information. It pulls data from sources like internal documents or knowledge bases, ensuring that responses are grounded in real and up-to-date information. Next statement, RAG enables you to get more relevant responses based on your organization's documents without retraining the base model. Well, that is also correct. RAG enables more relevant responses by incorporating organizational data without retraining the base model. This makes it both flexible and cost effective. Hence, the correct answers are no, yes, and yes. Last question in this set. In which scenario is Azure Machine Learning most likely to deliver strategic value for an organization? And you have four options on your screen. Please go through them by pausing the video over here. And the correct answer is option A, using historical sales data to forecast demand across product categories. Let's understand where Azure Machine Learning delivers the most strategic value. Azure Machine Learning is best suited for scenarios that involve predictive analytics, pattern recognition, and data-driven decision making. Forecasting demand using historical sales data is a classic example. It allows organizations to predict future trends, optimize inventory, and improve business planning. Now, looking at other options, option B is about digitizing a paper-based process, which is more of an automation or OCR use case, not machine learning. Option C involves entering data into a spreadsheet, which is manual and does not leverage machine learning capabilities. Option D is about sending personalized emails based on location, which can be handled using simple rules and does not require advanced models. Hence, the correct answer is option A.